Hello, this is Dr. Jacqueline Lawrence with the Book of Eras Jacqueline, and I am stopping in today to answer a question about the end times, and that is, are we living in the end times? But first, before I answer that question, do me a favor and like my channel and hit the subscribe button if you would please. Thank you so much. So, are we living in the end times? I'm going to answer that question right up front and tell you no, not yet. Not yet. We're not yet living in the end times. Are we close? Absolutely. And so let me explain to you why we're not yet living in the end times. And I'm going to be reading from the book of Matthew, chapter 24, and I'm going to be reading from the New International Version, beginning with verse number 3. And here it is. And Jesus was sitting on the Mount of Olives. The disciples came to him privately. Tell us, they said, when will this happen, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the age? Jesus answered, watch that no one deceives you. So one of the first signs that Jesus mentioned was deception. And if you look around, you don't have to look around far to know that deception is everywhere. For many will come in my name, claiming I am the Messiah, and will deceive many. You will hear of wars and rumors of wars. We've been hearing that for many years, throughout history, as a matter of fact. But see to it that you are not alarmed. Such things must happen, but the end is still to come. So, not yet. Even with the wars. Now listen, we're going to go on to verse number 7. Nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. I did some research on the word nation, and that means ethnos, which comes from the word ethnicities. And yes, it seems like everything is black and white. Or against Asians and against Hispanics. So nation is rising against nation and kingdom against kingdom. The kingdom of Satan against the kingdom of God. There will be famines and earthquakes in various places. Wow, not only earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes. For a while there, we were seeing them in specific places, and now we're just seeing them everywhere. We don't know what's going to hit, and we don't know where. All these are the beginning of birth pains. So this is like labor pains, like a woman giving birth to a child is what the earth is giving birth to, the end times. As we all know, when a woman gives birth, her pains increase in frequency and intensity as she gets closer and closer to giving birth. So all these signs are going to be increasing exponentially and in intensity. And they are already. I'm 61 years old, and things are worse now than I've ever seen them. And I even ask the older people, you know how older people used to say, things were really hard in my day. Well, guess what? I've been asking older folk, and I said, are things still harder in your day? They say no. Things are much harder and much worse today because things are so much more corrupt and so much more evil. Verse 9 says, then you will be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me. Well, who is Jesus talking to? He's talking to his disciples. So if you are a disciple of Jesus, he's talking to you. and he's talking to me. And we're going to be hated. Christians are going to be hated all over the world and even put to death. And this is happening in some places already. And we who live in the United States, we may think that we're exempt, but no, we're not exempt. You see them coming against us, and they're going to absolutely hate us more and more. At that time, when they start hating us more and more and start putting so many of us to death, many will turn away from the faith and will betray and hate each other. So for some people, the fire is too hot, and it's too hot to contain their Christianity, their so-called love for God. And they say, I'm getting out of this fire. So some will denounce their faith because of all the hatred. Verse 11, and many false prophets will appear and deceive, there's that word deception again, deceive, and will deceive many. Verse 12, because of the increase of wickedness, the love of most will grow cold. The love of most. It already says that they're going to start hating each other. And so we're not going to see very much love in the land. That's going to be rare to see love. It seems to me that we're already getting there, but it's really going to be rare to be able to find love because most people won't love. 13, but the one who stands firm to the end will be saved. Verse 14, and this gospel of the kingdom will be preached in the whole world as a testimony to all nations. And then the end will come. And then the end will come. And then the end will come. So I've done some research on how far in advance the gospel has been preached all over the world, and say that there's 8 billion people on the earth right now, or close to it. Well, most researchers say that the gospel has been preached to about 4 billion people. That means we're about halfway. But remember, birth pains are going to increase in frequency and intensity. So just like we have the internet, satellites, televisions, media is coming faster and faster. It's not like in the old days where people rode around on buggies and to spread the news. We have airplanes now, and we have technology, and technology is advancing more and more every day. So are we in the end times yet? Not quite, but they are coming exponentially faster than they've ever come before. But when they do come, we're going to be headed for times that have been worse than there's ever been in the history of mankind. Because verse 15 says, so, in other words, okay, so we've hit the end time. So, when you see standing in the holy place, the abomination that causes desolation, spoken of through the prophet Daniel, let the reader understand. There's nowhere else in the Bible where it says, let the reader understand. So this is something so profound. Then let those who are in Judea flee. And King James Version says, into the mountains. So there is a way of escape from all the horrific events that are coming, that the book of Matthew 24, Mark 13, and Luke 21, the Olivet Discourse, reveal through none other than Jesus Christ himself, there is a way of escape. There is a way of escape. And for more information, visit www.endtimeplanning.com, ENDTIME planning, PLANNING.com. So, are we there yet? No, not yet. Are we getting close exponentially? Yes, we are. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Book of Heiress Jacqueline. Please remember to like and subscribe to this channel because there's lots more to come. God bless you all.